Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so today we're taking a closer look at an object that I think really embodies that idea of understated luxury. We're talking about the Girard-Perregaux Laureato Infinite Grey watch. And our mission really is to understand how this watch gets its, unique charm, that sort of cognoscenti appeal, well outside the usual hype bubble.
Yeah, we're going to dig into some, I think, surprising facts and details that define its quiet elegance. Now, for those of you who follow the integrated bracelet sports watch world, the Laureato family, well, it's always had this kind of dark horse appeal, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. It holds its own against some, much more visible competitors. It's a real strength.
Definitely.
And the case itself really plays into that. It's stainless steel, 42 millimeters wide, and just 10.7 millimeters thick.
42 millimeters sounds maybe a touch large for some modern tastes. It might sound it, yeah, but honestly, it wears exceptionally well. The proportions are just right, and the finishing, I mean, it's truly exemplary. You get these really sharp transitions between brushed and polished surfaces, deep horizontal brushing on the main case body, and then that signature bezel, the terraced circle-and-octagon. Razor-sharp edge transitions there. Plus, practical stuff too. Sapphire display, caseback, 100 meters water resistance, solid specs.
Okay, the case sounds really impressive, great finishing. But for me, the main event, the real magic, has to be that dial. What's going on with this new Grand Feu enamel dial? It looks striking.
It really is remarkable, and it's important to note this isn't the usual clou de Paris, that sort of hobnail pattern you often see.
Right.
This is a flinke dial surface.
Right.
So they engrave this pattern, first concentric rings cut by 6 deep rays before applying the translucent Grand Feu enamel.
Okay, so the pattern is under the enamel.
Exactly. And it creates this almost organic, scale-like pattern, you could even say. It brings to mind the radial symmetry of some sea creatures. It's very intricate. And that translucent Grand Feu enamel itself,
Yeah.
it has this really impressive dynamic range. In different light, it shifts subtly, from a deep slate gray sometimes to almost silver.
Wow.
And because of those peaks and valleys from the flake engraving underneath, you get this endless array of highlights and shadows constantly playing across the dial.
So it really changes with the light and angle.
Constantly. It's not a loud watch shouting for attention. Its luxury is revealed when you take the time to really look closely. It rewards that inspection.
Seeing photos, I did wonder if all that detail might feel, well, busy. But you're saying it actually keeps a sense of restraint.
Absolutely, yeah. Most of the time, it presents as quite understated, soft, almost demure, really. But then, a flick of the wrist catches the light just right, and bam, it explodes into life. The other elements help keep it clean, too. Things like the flat-polished, rhodium-plated indices and those paddle hands, they have this really dramatic on or off reflectivity, very sharp.
Right.
And even the date window, at 3 o'clock, it's dial matching, so it just kind of fades effortlessly into the background until you actually need to check the date. Very nicely integrated.
Okay, aesthetics are clearly stunning. But beyond that, the movement is crucial. What's powering the Infinite Grey?
Yeah, so inside you'll find a version of their in-house GP-A01800 automatic movement. It's the GP-A01800-2524 variant, specifically. Now, the technical specs, they're, pretty solid, middle of the road. 54-hour power reserve, so runs for over 2 days off the wrist.
Standard, yeah.
And a smooth 28,800 beats per hour frequency. But honestly, the real attraction here, like with the case, is the finishing.
Okay. Tell me more.
Well, you'll see things like gold-filled engravings, polished anglage, that's the hand beveling on the edges of the bridges.
Right, the chamfering.
Exactly. Broad Côte de Genève, those nice wide stripes and tight perlage, that circular graining pattern on the main plate. It's very well executed. And the rotor, the bit that winds the watch, is pink gold and particularly nice. It has these intricate radial Côte de Genève.
Radial. Not the usual straight lines.
Right, radiating up from the center. And what's cool is that each individual stripe seems to have its own slightly different brushing radius. It creates this really subtle concentric effect as it spins. Just another layer of meticulous detail.
And of course, you can't talk Laureato without mentioning the bracelet. That classic stainless steel H-link integrated design.
For sure.
Those broad, rounded, polished center links are so distinct, contrasting with the angular, horizontally brushed H-links. And you've got polished chamfers on the edges, too.
It drapes really well.
Yeah, it's known for being remarkably comfortable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't have a modern micro-adjustment system in the clasp.
That's true, but they do provide half links, which helps a lot in getting a good fit. And the hidden butterfly clasp keeps the lines really clean.
Right. So, I mean, really reinforces the Laureato's position, doesn't it, as this slightly under the radar, maybe more discerning choice in that whole integrated bracelet sports watch market, especially with this dial.
Exactly. The style just elevates it further.
And the price point, for context, is $17,900 USD MSRP.
Yeah. And I think what's really compelling here, stepping back, is how this watch, the Laureato Infinite Grey, it perfectly exemplifies that whole quiet luxury concept we hear about.
Mm.
It isn't about being the loudest thing in the room or relying on, marketing hype. It's truly about rewarding your close inspection. It offers this genuinely refined, very personal experience if you take the time to appreciate the subtle mastery involved.
That's a great way to put it. So maybe a final thought for you listening. As you reflect on this deep dive, how might recognizing and appreciating this kind of quiet charisma, this subtle quality, how might that change the way you perceive value and luxury? Not just in watches, obviously, but maybe in other areas of design and craftsmanship you encounter every day. Something to think about.